Hi guys, MONROE STEELE here from Fashion Steele NYC, and welcome back to my channel. Do not forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you love fashion, beauty, lifestyle, and travel videos. You guys, I'm doing my first full get ready to go to brunch with me video. Today I'm going to be showing you how I got this hair look, this makeup look, and giving you all the details to this vintage dress look as well, while I get ready to go to lunch or brunch here in New York City on the weekends with my girl Rose. But first, I want to thank Bright Cellars for sponsoring today's video. If you've never heard of them, let me give you the 411. So Bright Cellars is a wonderful wine subscription box, and they really want to maximize your wine experience. You take a really cool, quick online test, and then they pick out a few options for you to try, and you then rate your wines as you drink. For my first box, I went with intermediate, and I got 6 new wines based on the test I took really quickly online. It's actually a quiz. I don't want to make you guys think it's super labor intensive. It's just a quick quiz that you can take, and based on that quiz they send you different wines. I love a good white wine. I also really love Merlots and Rosés, so let me show you what all they sent. So based on my quiz, here are my matches. They send you cards for each of the wines. We have Azuli, Crypsis, Whistling Arrow, Lost City, Rising Tail, and my absolute favorite, Petal Press Wine Co. Rosé. So these are my 6 bottles. We're gonna go ahead and crack open a glass of this rosé and get started with the get ready with me. But definitely check out Bright Cellars. There is a link down below so that you can get 50% off of your first 6 bottles of wine. Become a wine connoisseur, you know? Guys, so I'll pour myself a little bit of this Petal Press Rosé. I love how the little cards tell you everything you need to know about it, as well as what you compare it with for food, and then I can also rate this as well so that they know for the future. So we're gonna go ahead and get started with my first ever get ready with me hair, makeup, and outfit. But be sure to check out the link down below to Bright Cellars so you can take your quiz and get started with your 6 bottles 50% off. All right guys, let's go. We're gonna start with hair. All right guys, so let's get started. I am filming in my bathroom, so hopefully there is not an echo. I just washed my hair with the Taraji P. Henson hair care line. I actually went to her event when she dropped this line. I think it's available at Target, but I've been using it for maybe like off and on, maybe the past 3 months, and I absolutely love these 2 products. The Honey Fresh clarifying shampoo with moisture, great for cleansing, detoxing, and hydrating for all types of hair, and the Make It Rain hydrogen rich conditioner is so amazing. This is wonderful for detangling your hair. I feel like my hair texture is, I don't know, 4A, B, C, like I have a little bit of all 3 in my hair, and this really helps to detangle. And I love that this, although it's a clarifying shampoo, it doesn't strip all of the moisture out of my hair, but it's really good for getting out all of the product that I use in my hair. So if you're interested, I will link these 2 products down below in the description box and you can check them out. So this is what my hair looks like after I wash it. I literally just got out of the shower about, I don't know, maybe 15 minutes ago. I will insert a clip here of how it looked right before I washed it. It's pretty fluffy. It tends to start sectioning itself off as it dries. For my slicked back ponytail, I like to work with my hair wet because it's easier to manipulate. Once this dries, it dries very thick, coarse, and big, and it's hard for me to lie it down flat. So if you have natural hair and it's very coarse and curly or coily, my hair is coily, I would recommend doing this on wet hair. What you can do if your hair isn't wet or if you don't feel like washing it, you can always get a water bottle. This water bottle is actually a mixture of 100% aloe vera juice and water. You can get it from your local Whole Foods. It's really wonderful for your hair and scalp, and I got that tip from my girl Amani. She has a black-owned business called More Kinks, and she specializes in doing natural hair. She's the one who always does my Marley twist for me, and she is amazing. She helped me transition from permed hair to natural hair. I love being a natural guy. Anywho, need a little line here. I went ahead and changed into this little two-piece set from Forever 21. I wear this a lot when I'm just around the house. It has a matching little skirt, a nice kind of like sweater-like material. Sometimes they still have it in stock, and so I will link it down below. I think I got a size medium, and if they don't have it in stock, I will link some similars. So my hair is already starting to dry, so I'm just going to wet it a little bit. You can kind of see just from that little bit of water, it just stretched my hair. So I'm only going to be using about literally like 3 or 4 products to get this ponytail look. I'm going to be using Eco Styling Gel with argan oil. It has a maximum hold of 10. It is alcohol free. It's the one with the red top. This is my favorite. I love it because even though it is like slicking down your hair, it's actually giving your hair all of these vitamins and minerals that it needs with the argan oil. Argan oil is great for hair growth, so I love this one. It doesn't flake, it doesn't turn white, which can be an issue with some gels. And this really actually, you see how these coils, this will slick this down in no time. Even if my hair is dry, it will slick it down, but it's much easier when it's wet. Need another little sip of this delicious rosé. Thanks, Bright Sellers. Don't forget to check out Bright Sellers. There's a link down below. You can use my coupon code as well to, you know, try it out for yourself. Little subscription of wines every month. Alright guys, I think I'm gonna go with a side part, and excuse me because I'm looking in the mirror while doing this. Now before I get started, I'm going to put in a little bit of Miss Jessie's leave-in condish. It is soybean and aloe. Like I said, aloe, so good for your hair. It's the best darn leave-in conditioner, period. And that's what it says here. I love this leave-in conditioner. I feel like it just protects my hair while it's in this style. I don't actually think wearing a ponytail often is good for natural hair because it's a lot of manipulation, which is why I usually do it every other week. And then on the weeks I don't have a ponytail, I usually just do a twist out and leave my hair out, or transition my hair into a high like puff. I do have a whole twist out video in the beauty and hair section, so if you want to see how I get my twist outs and how I transition that into like a puff, a high puff, make sure to check out that video. I'll link it down below in the description box for you guys. So I really go in and I make sure I get my ends because that's the most fragile kind of part of your hair. So about every 2 weeks I go through my hair and I cut off the straggly parts. Like if it doesn't bounce back, it's pretty much dead. Like this, you see that? Your hair will not grow if you're holding on to like the dead parts. I use a very sharp pair of hair scissors that I got from Amazon. And so I do this twice a month, every 2 weeks after a wash. All right, I have my part here. My hair has the leave-in conditioner in. I've trimmed off all the little crazy looking angel knots. Why do they call them angel knots? They are definitely devil knots. And now we're gonna go in with a very, very generous amount of Eco Styling Gel. You're just gonna wanna put a generous amount all over, underneath, and on top. You can also section your hair and put it in, which is probably the proper way to do it. So you see how quickly that's already kind of just lying my hair down? So I'm just going to apply a generous amount and use a bristle brush to bring all of my hair down into a low bun. Alright guys, so that took me about, I don't know, 7 minutes. I used the rest of this jar. So this is how it looks for now. I still have like some little raised pieces. I could just throw some more gel on there. And my little ponytail here. So what I'm gonna do is just let that dry, and I'm gonna throw a scarf on it, and I'm gonna relax. I'm also gonna let this little ponytail dry a bit, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do next. But for this look, I will be using Big Chop Hair clip-in drawstring ponytail, and this is it. It is the blown straight hair. You can see the texture looks very close to natural hair that's been blow dried. I'm not sure of the length or the color. This is definitely not black. It's more of a natural brownish black, maybe like a 2B color. So this is how it looks. There's a little netting here in the center, and it has a clip at the top and a little clip here at the bottom as well. And then it has a drawstring with a little button here that you can adjust. So this is what we're going to be using for today's ponytail look. I will link this exact one down below in the description box. Big Chop Hair is a black-owned business. Her name is My Haitian House on Instagram. She is amazing. I love her products. I also have one of her wigs, the Charlie wig with the bang. I love that wig. It's one of my favorites. I've had it for years, and it's still like new every time I wear it. This was also a gift, so thank you, Big Chop Hair. They also sent another drawstring ponytail that I wanted to show you guys. This one is exactly the same, but this is brand new. So it has a hair netting here, has a little clip at the top and at the bottom, and of course it has the little drawstring here with the little button to control the drawstring. But this one is more of a kinky, kind of crimply hair. You could probably comb this out or brush this out a little bit too. And I like this for like vacation. This is like Jamaica, this is Bermuda, this is a Miami type of ponytail look. But today we're gonna go with this one, the blown straight, but I will link both down below in the description box and you can check it out. So now I'm gonna grab my scarf, tie my hair up, drink some of this wine courtesy of Bright Cellars. I love rosé, but this is like one of my favorite rosés, and I'm so happy to be partnering with Bright Cellars and being exposed to new wines. Previously, I only really drank Merlot, which is my favorite wines. I do have a ton of reds, but this was the only rosé, and I really like it. I will link this down below, by the way, and put the name of it if you're interested. Alright guys, so I quickly grabbed one of my favorite little satin scarves. This thing is old, I've had it forever. Put it into a little triangle there, kind of double it up there in the front. So I really focus on the edges. Gonna let that sit for about, I might even give it a half hour since I want it to last all week. Today is a Sunday, and I think it can last probably until next Saturday, and then I can just wash out all of this gel, because you definitely need to wash your hair after doing this style because of all of the product. It's not good for your hair. All right, so gonna drink some rosé. I'm gonna head to the living room, catch up on some Love Island, which I just started watching the UK edition. Gonna luxuriate for a little bit, and I'll be back to update you with what to do next. See you soon. All right guys, it's been about half an hour. I think the gel is set. Take off my scarf. Nice and smooth. I'm gonna use a little bit of the Moroccan Oil Glimmer Shine Finish Spray. I actually like the original kind of oil, which is what I usually use, but I'm out because I've used it all. I'm just going to get my little ponytail together with that. And literally, I'm just gonna 2-strand twist this. All right guys, so there we go, my little ponytail. And literally, I'm just gonna wrap this around and find a little spot to tuck it into the barrette there. So that's it. So this is going to be the anchor for our ponytail. Again, we're using the Big Chop hair. I wore this a lot while I was in Montauk for my little staycation. I hope you check that out. I love the color. I feel like it fits really well with like my hair texture and color. It's almost an exact match. You can also curl this. So I'm just gonna take the top clip. I'm gonna clip it right above the ponytail, and the bottom clip, I'm gonna clip it below this little ponytail, and then I'm going to use the drawstring to tighten it. And I just hope you all can see. So here I am tucking it into the top, really clamping those clips in, taking the bottom clip, going under the ponytail, really clamping that in. The drawstring is here on the bottom. I'm going to pull it until it's nice and tight, kind of surrounding that ball there. And then I'm going to take this here and move it all the way so that it's nice and tight. Okay? And then what I'm gonna do is take this remaining string and just kind of wrap it around the base there and tuck it in. And it stays. No bobby pins, nothing of the sort. This is about how long it is. So I'm just gonna take this from the bottom and I'm gonna wrap around the base just to hide anything that doesn't need to be seen. Wrap that around a few times and literally just tuck it. So this is how it looks. And now, just gonna take a little bit of this again. I like to put it into my hand instead of directly onto my hair. You can control the product better. This is the Moroccan Oil Finishing Glimmer Shine Spray. Smells amazing, by the way. And then I'm just gonna 2-strand twist and big chunky twist. I don't make it too tight. And literally I go all the way to the end of the hair. Once I get towards the end, I twist it really tight. For the most part, this will stay if you're not like moving around a lot, but you could always take a little rubber band, the really tiny ones, and clamp the ends there. So to sometimes make it look more natural, because it can just feel like a big glob right there, you can always take another little band and kind of go in right at the top of the ponytail. Let's double that up. That way it just looks a little more natural instead of just like a big glob. See what I mean there? You can also move this closer to the base to make it look more natural as well. So that is it. That is the ponytail look using Big Chop hair. Everything I used to do this style will be linked down below in the description box. Love how it turned out, by the way. It turned out really good. So now we are going to drink some of this rosé. and get into a super basic makeup look. So as you guys can see, my skin has been doing so good. Like, I'm so excited about my skin. I mean, it's not perfect, but like, it's the best it's looked in a really long time. So I'm very, very, very happy. If you're interested in seeing my skincare routine, I have a few videos, very recent videos. Make sure to head down to the beauty section and check those out for the products that I use to really help with my hyperpigmentation and the texture of my skin. Of course, I still have lots of hyperpigmentation and texture issues, but it's so much better than before. Praise dance. Let's get into my makeup. I'm gonna start with the Super Screen Daily Moisturizer from Supergoop SPF 40. You guys know I use a lot of retinols. I use a lot of vitamin C products for skincare to help with hyperpigmentation and texture. And so it's very important to use sunscreen every single day, even if you're in the house. Like, you see this window, the light is coming through. If you don't want your hyperpigmentation dark spots to get darker from sun exposure, you need to use sunscreen. That's the base there. It's on. Laura Mercier Pure Canvas Primer Perfecting Silicone. This is one of my favorites. I also love their like blurring one. I don't need much, just about that much. And literally, I only put this where I get a lot of shine. So right on my cheeks, right on my forehead, crevices of my nose and chin. And I really massage it into my pores because I do have large pores on my cheeks. Like, you can even see the difference of where I put it versus where I didn't put it. It's kind of amazing. All right, you guys know I'm a huge fan of Nars Sheer Glow foundation. It works really well for summer because it kind of gives you this warm glow, but also for summer it can kind of get a little shiny. So I'm really happy that Nars just came out with their matte foundation. This hasn't even come out yet while I'm making this video, but by the time it goes live, this will be out. It is the Nars Soft Matte Complete Foundation, and I have the tone Caracas in a medium deep 3.3. So this comes out September the 1st, so definitely should be out by now. If you're looking for a nice flawless matte makeup, check this out. New soft matte from Nars. So what I actually like to do is mix the two. I know I'm doing the most. We're gonna take my little foundation brush. I'm gonna use a little bit of Sheer Glow. I do have a method to this as well. I use Bahia, which is my lighter color. This is the color I am pretty much in the fall and winter when I get no sun. I also like to mix it with Mascara, which is the color I am pretty much in the summer. So depending on whatever like season it is, I'll mix more. So because it's summer, I'm gonna use more Mascara and a tiny bit of the Bahia for like a highlight effect. I'm just gonna put that right onto my brush. So let's go in. And I like the Sheer Glow because it's a medium coverage. It's not a full coverage. I still like to like look like myself. I'm also using natural light, so it might look a little different on screen. I do have a light, you know, that I can use for filming, but I never use it because I just prefer natural light. So I love how that mixture looks. It's pretty spot on when it comes to my skin. And as you can see, it's not a full coverage because you can still see some of my hyperpigmentation, and I'm okay with that. Right, so now that that's on, I mean, it's already looking cute, quite natural. What I'm gonna do is take some of the Nars new Soft Matte Complete Foundation, and I'm gonna put it where I want to be matte, which is, again, everywhere where there's a lot of shine. So I'm just gonna put a few drops on this brush. You don't even need a lot. So I'm gonna put it right along my cheeks, right in the middle of my forehead, and right on my chin. So I'm just doing all of this to make sure this makeup stays on because it's gonna be pretty hot today. And of course we are dining al fresco outside I want my makeup to last because we are doing some shooting today too for brunch. Alrighty, there we go. You can see the matte part, like that's so matte. It's really nice. That is it for my foundation. I used 2 Nars Sheer Glow, 1 soft matte. Eventually I'll probably just use the matte for summer because it's less shiny, and the Sheer Glow for winter when my skin is going to need a boost of shine because it's probably just going to be looking dull and gray. Okay, let's move on to my brows, which I've been putting more thought into these days. This is the Sephora Clear Brow Gel. It's just clear brow gel. And I like to brush my brows up, make them as big as possible. This also kind of holds them in place. This is the Sephora Retractable Brow Pencil. It's waterproof in the color Granite, which is not quite black, but not brown either. It's more like a gray. And so I've just filled in my brows. I made them very thick and I'm just brushing them up. One side is a pencil, one side is the little spoolie. I know, this is a lot of steps. Finally, this is the Sephora Ash Brown Mascara Brow Volumizing Fiber. And literally I just add that to the fronts just to make a little bit bushy. Okay, I'm using a little Laura Mercier concealer just to outline my brows to make them look, wow, that's a lot. I didn't mean to put that much on the spoon. Just to make them look a little more polished. So I do the top and the bottom. I don't know if you're supposed to do the top and the bottom, but that's just what I do. This is the Laura Mercier Flawless Fusion Ultra Longwear Concealer. It is anti-crease in the color 4N Ultra Longwear Concealer. So not only do I put it there, I'll put just a tiny amount under my eyes. And then anywhere I see some hyperpigmentation too. Just a little bit goes a long way. All right, so now I'm gonna use this little, I don't know what these things are called. I'm just gonna pat that in. So literally I just blot this in and it just kind of blends in seamlessly with my makeup. Now this, I put too much on, so I gotta blot this off. So I blot and I kind of move it down into my eyelid as a base for my eyeshadow. So that's pretty much it. For my eyebrows, I'm gonna do my eyes. This is Urban Decay On The Run G-Train palette. This is the one I use the most. And the color that I use the most is here. It's called Tunnel and it's beautiful. Kind of like a brick red. And so because I have that concealer on my lids, this shows up really well on brown skin. You know, sometimes the eyeshadows don't show up well or are not pigmented enough, but that concealer is a great base. Now I don't have any method for this, I just go in. I don't use a lot and I try to really blend it. And another little tip I like to do is I also like to go under my lash line about midway and just connect it all the way there. So it's a little messy over there, but I'll clean that up later. So I need to clean this up just a little bit. So I'm just taking my same foundation brush, which still has foundation on it, and I'm just cleaning up around the edges there. Alright, let's get into these lashes. I'm using Pat McGrath Labs Dark Star Mascara. Ooh. So I've been using this for about, I don't know, I want to say like 2 weeks since I got it. It's a really good mascara. It can clump just a little, but you have to make sure you like wiggle from the base up. And I'm going to show you exactly what I do to make sure all of my lashes are separated. Alrighty. Okay guys, so that is the Pat McGrath Labs Dark Star Mascara, and I love it. But I want to make sure to separate some of these. And I need a more controlled, what is it? Like the spool. And so I'm gonna go in with Benefit Cosmetics Their Real Mascara, because this little spoolie, or whatever that thing is called on top, is like the best in the game. And so I just use the end to separate. And I mean, it works like a charm. And then it also gives a little length to the ends. And just makes them really perfect. You can really get in there. You see the difference? And I also love this little like bulb at the end, because it's perfect for bottom lashes. It catches them and really separates them without leaving extra residue or clumping or just like messing up your mascara. Such a subtle look, but like very nice. Okay, I'm starting to sweat a little bit because I'm in the bathroom. It's time to powder up using the Laura Mercier Translucent Loose Setting Powder, which is my favorite setting powder of all time. I'm just gonna use this little brush, about that much. I'm gonna go under my eyes, take away some of that shine. See how immediate that was? Like, wow, it's good. Let's get rid of that little sweat bubble above my lip. A little bit on the chin. Tiny bit right above the brows. Just right above the brows. Let's throw some there too. Now I'm super matte, which I like. I'm matte in places I want to be matte, and I'm shining in places I want to shine. Gonna put on a little mascara. This is the Urban Decay Zero mascara. It is like the most black mascara out there, and I love it. It's super black. You see the difference between this eye and this eye? I mean, it's like, maybe only I notice it. Gonna use the same Sephora retractable brow pencil, this time in ebony, not in granite, to go over my moles, because I like them to show. And you can see them in person, but not so much on camera. So there's one here, there's one there, and I have one here, which is fairly new. I think I got this one this year. I also have one on my nose right there, but for now we'll just do my main 3 moles. Let's do my lip. So for my lip, I'm gonna use 2 products. They're both Nars. The first is Nars Dance Fever Velvet Matte Lip Pencil. And this is my favorite. I wear this a ton. I love a matte lip. And this is kind of like my nude. It's kind of pinky, kind of mauvey, kind of nudie. It just looks super natural. If you are a brown guy like me, you have a yellow undertone, oh, this is a great nude. It stays on all day too. I could just leave it like this. I almost want to, but I've been getting so many questions about this Nars like shiny gloss that I've been wearing, so I want to show you guys. I could have put this on my normal lip, but I feel like I need an even base for it to look really good. This is the Nars MONROE Zambeze lip gloss. Unfortunately, I don't think it is current, because this MONROE collection was a one-time collection. This is what it looks like. I think it looks beautiful on top of the Nars Dance Fever. Now, I don't use lip liner, but I imagine that if you did use a lip liner, it would probably look a lot better. But I don't know what it is. I just hate using a lip liner. I don't know why. So you can definitely use this without a liner or without a base. But I feel like it'll stay on longer if you put something similar that's matte underneath. So that's one coat. It's a very nice nude. I think I might even put a little bit more. Okay, that's 2 coats and I love it. So far, loving this very natural look. Going to finish off with a little blush because blush makes everything better. My favorite palette is the Nars Wanted To palette, and the 2 colors I like the most are this one and this one, which is, I think it's Ambition and PYT, Pretty Young Thing. I'm gonna use this buffer brush. Just gonna dab there, gonna dab there, and put it right in the apples of my cheeks. I'll get a little closer so you can see. You see that? You saw it. It just adds warmth to the cheek. And then I like to take this orangey color, kind of a glow, and I like to go around my eyes, kind of like a highlight, and bring it right to the top of my cheekbone for almost like a sun-kissed look. You know, you've been to the beach all day, you got some good sun, the vitamin D is popping, it's activating the melanin. It's very subtle. So we're gonna go in with some of the Laura Mercier translucent medium deep powder this time, and this is more like a bronzer. I'm gonna be using this Laura Mercier fan powder brush. This is what this looks like. You see that glow in that? And they also just came out with a honey one as well, which is a little bit lighter. So I just tap this right in there, tap off the excess. Use this fan to literally put it right in my highlight. Almost like drawing. It's fun, it's soothing. Y'all see that? I'm glued up. We want a lot of glow. Let's just go ham. It's really pretty. So this is what I like using this for. Then I put a little on my nose, right on the tip. And I just move that right down into the blush. That is it. I have linked all the products down below for this makeup look. Alright guys, now that we are all done with hair and makeup, we are going to get into choosing a look for brunch today. Let's see what we have. Alright guys, so I have been very much into watching old episodes of Sex and the City this whole quarantine, and I've actually really been taking some fashion pointers from Carrie, which is definitely my favorite character and the character with the life that most resembles mine, even when it comes to like the love life. Cheers to that. But I have been getting into vintage looks, especially Roberto Cavalli. She wears a lot of Roberto Cavalli in Sex and the City, and I was perusing the Real and I came across this dress and I had to have it. I bought it especially to wear in Montauk, but I ended up wanting to save it just for this video because I love it so much. I think it's the perfect dress to go to a nice brunch in the city, which is what we're doing today. So without further ado, let me show it to you. And then I want you to tell me what episode Carrie wore a dress with this exact same pattern in down in the comments. Whoever wins, I'll give you some kind of prize. I don't know what that prize is gonna be yet. My loves, here is the dress. I know it just looks like a piece of hanging fabric. It is stunning. Look, I'm pretty sure it's like satin, or maybe it's 100% silk. Roberto Cavalli, courtesy of The Real. Thanks for having all the oldies but goodies. But you guys, look at this detailing. This is a halter top. It goes around your neck, but look at this. How stunning is that little crystal detailing? That is so cool. So this is a little halter top. It ties up in the back. It is a midi dress and it just screams, I have arrived to brunch. So gonna put this on, we're gonna pick out a shoe, and I'm gonna show you the finished look. All right guys, so here is the dress. It is this beautiful vintage Roberto Cavalli dress. I believe it's from the early 90s. I love this pattern. I love this little, I don't know, it's almost like a brooch here. And in the back, the strings are long enough to go around your neck and then tie into these holes and then tie together. I also love how low this goes in the back. It's just a very flowy, very feminine dress, and it's also super Carrie Bradshaw, which I love. And no shade to Joan from Girlfriends, because I love her too. And to top off the look, I paired it with my BCBG Max Azria white snake print like mules that I wear all the time. These are sold out, but I will include a link to a few similar ones. And for earrings, I think I'm going to go with these Simon Miller Buttes. They're pretty cool. If these are still available, I will link them as well. But I got these from Shopbop. Now this dress, I don't know if I will be able to find a link for you all because it is vintage, but I have been looking online for vintage Roberto Cavalli dresses for like the last month, and I have a whole folder saved. So I will link a few of my favorites online at the moment down below. All are either pre-owned or vintage, and you can check them out. Loving these Simon Miller earrings with this look. All right guys, so that is it. Gonna head off to join my girl Rose Dadu Chic to shoot this, of course, and also to have brunch, because we always brunch on the weekend. And being that it's summer and it's coming to the end of summer here in New York City, a lot of the restaurants are now going to be closed due to the pandemic. So if you can get out and dine a little bit al fresco, do it while you can. And once again, special thank you to Bright Sellers for sponsoring today's Get Ready With Me video. You can all check them out. You can take a really easy little quiz online to kind of see what your palate is like, and they send you 6 wines and you get to experience them all. You can use the link down below in the description box to get 50% off of your first order of 6 personalized wine. If you do it, please let me know. Drop a little wine emoji down in the comments and let me know which wines you received that you like the best. And do remember that every personalized box does come with 6 bottles of wine. All right, I've only indulged in 1, but I have 5 more to try. I'll let you guys know how they are over on my Instagram, so make sure you're following me at MONROE STEELE. If you enjoyed this video, please do give your girl a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe and click that little notification bell so that you never miss a video. All right guys, I'll see you in the next one, and I hope you enjoyed. Cheers. Bye guys.